are Ben and MP, and for the last 2.5 years we've been rebuilding a doomed and sinking boat. Today we will be giving our hull some attention, as it should be painted soon, and also we'll be working on our engine. Two crucial things before splashing Yabá back in the water where she belongs.
Just a little update on progress, or not even progress, activities on the boat. The second layer of epoxy on the hull is currently being sanded so we can apply the first layers of primer inside the boat. The hatches, there we go. The hatches that are on the sofa are being placed, so they were all cut out already. Now all of them are being put back in place with a little support, with a hole in the middle so we can remove them. And another job that's just started while I'm sanding the hull is Nico is on the roof fairing what we fiberglassed up here. Why are we fairing it? These planks are all kind of wavy. I don't know if it happened during the build or if it was meant to be like this. You might be able to see it up here. But anyway, we're going over with some fairing compound to prevent any water that does rain down on it or whatever get caught in those little grooves, because that will hopefully all be covered by solar panels and we won't be able to see that and it'll get really dirty. So we're trying to fair it so all the water falls off the outside or around the back and keep it nice and smooth before we gel coat this top.
Comfy.
Yeah. All the batteries are dead. Charge the batteries before we go on. It's only frustrating.
Don't touch this.
Always make sure the batteries are fully charged before you get into a small corner.
Hello everybody, can you recognize where we are? It's engine day, baby. After a while without working on the engine, it's finally time for us to get back to it, finish installing all the accessories, because we have the engine in place in the engine room, and then since then we just didn't work on the engine anymore. So now we're gonna work on the refrigeration, that's not how I say it. The cooling system of the engine, alternators, gearbox, all the extras of the engine. So I'm here with Elio, the mechanic. You guys know he's a legend. That's why we take so long to come here and work, because he's always so busy, because everybody wants him as their own mechanic. But now we're here. Let's work. The first thing we're gonna tackle is the cooling pump that will make the water really move inside the engine so we can cool it down. It's the first time to me, so don't follow what I'm doing. I'm just showing what I'm doing.
have. And my head was
and we have a bump. We got a couple of comments doubting of the resistance of our furniture of our galley, saying even that it was flimsy. So I want to show you guys that this is very resistant. You guys ready?
Stand on it. You can jump on it. Jump on it, dance. Look up for your head.
Anyway, this ain't flimsy.
Finally. Okay, let me just show you guys how thick this wall is. And there's two, so we're going to use the same guide with a longer bit to drill a hole through the second wall as well, so that we can drill from the other side, which I think will be a lot easier than drilling through the hole to the other hole. First, I've got to get this off to show you guys how thick this wall is. So Nico just went down, used a bunch of tools down in the shed, and that is the thickness of the wood. It's 3.5 centimeters or just over 1.25 inch. Nico, our hero, has got a longer drill bit, so he's going to go and get it in his house. And in the meantime, one of the many things I guess that is missing in this area is the hatches that are going to go behind where you're sitting. Yeah, maybe we can. Yeah. Two things. The best ruler, if you don't have one, is an edge of a factory piece of plywood. So when it's green, it means it hasn't been cut yet, like this one. So you can guarantee it's straight. And secondly, Nico arrived with a long bit that we can use to guide the second hole of that bulkhead. I'm just going to help decide where these holes are going to go. He's going to start jigsawing around, and I'll head in and drill that second hole through the watertight bulkhead. Go to the boat. While this happens, I'm going to head down and try and drill through that second 10-inch concrete wall. Good news, this is ash and not purple heart, so it's a lot easier to cut. I think this wood is thicker because if you look very closely, it's not actually getting caught on the cup saw, it's getting caught on the little bit inside. Don't know what to do. Well, we almost got nothing done down there, even though I'm going to try it from the other side. Look at what happened over here. Oh. Now this is definitely more than the other one.
Cool thing, this is a greaser that I'm gonna fill it up with grease, and then this goes here, and I don't need to shut the whole thing. Once it's in the boat and I feel that it needs some more grease, I can just tighten it a bit, and then after I don't know how many hours of engine work, tighten a little more, and then slowly the grease will be coming here inside our pump. How cool is that? Actually what turns is this bit, not this bit, but how Ben would say, potato tomato. We have a pump, it's put together now. The next step is adding the gasket right here. You might wonder why I didn't do it before. It would have been so much easier than now that everything is put together. But there is a reason. It's not because we forgot. It's because if I ever need to replace that gasket, it's gonna happen like this. The pump will be in place, all like that, and I just need to come here and replace just the gasket without having to put everything apart. So what better than learning now that I have a mechanic and I'm not stressing, that we're not in any rush or any problem, how to do that so later in the future I don't have to struggle so much. So now I'm gonna struggle, but it's gonna be for a better and easier future for myself. we did it. Of course, I cheated a bit because I ended up turning the pump from one side to the other. I just noticed later that that won't be possible once I'm on the boat with the pump installed. But now I know how it's done, and it's not something that you have to do monthly, not even yearly. So yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. But thanks to Elio and his help, 2 gaskets are in, holding that in place, and now we're gonna test with water to see if it's working, if it's really sealing it.
Deu.
Ah,
Não,
parafuso.
Parafuso. Foi?
Ai, começou a sair. Yes, we did remove that just for painting because I wanted it to be golden and shiny. Tell me it wasn't worth it though. The body of the pump is ready and it's colorful and it's blue and it's so beautiful. Actually, I challenge you to show me a prettier pump than mine. Seriously, it's so nice. Well, that's drying. We're gonna go for the next step, which is our gearbox. So I've been working a lot on the engine and I'm missing a lot of the action that's happening on the boat. It's sad for one reason, but also arriving here and being surprised by the progress is very nice. So I haven't seen these hatches before. I really like it.
The sun has come out and I really hope this means we can continue working on the outside. One thing we have decided literally just now is that we're going to put 2 more layers of fiberglass on the roof of the housing area and cover it with gel coat, because we're not even in the north of Brazil yet, and with the sun we have here in the south of Brazil, which isn't as hot, is scorching. So anyway, everyone on the boat's busy. Orlando and Raf are working on electrics. We've just finished drilling that hole through the Purple Heart, and there's a little PVC pipe that's been put through it as well, which we're going to Sikaflex shut and all that as well. To pull all the wires through, we've made it as high as we could so that if any water or whatever does come in, it doesn't push through, so it's made it nice and high. Agilson has just finished removing absolutely everything around the seating area to then bring up cut, and Nico's now also painting all these little edges of the plywood because we don't want any of the end grain of plywood exposed. And Apache, actually, since it's been raining, has taken over the camera job, which is amazing. Thank you so much. This is the last of the sanding. It's taken us super long because I consider this the last of the fairing. We can do some adaptations later, but I'd rather assume we can't. So we're leaving everything now as smooth as we can, as it's got 2 layers of epoxy and it leaves some lines and it kind of gathers together in some areas. So we're really sanding it smooth, especially on top of the waterline. Once we've got the primer products on, it's going to be amazing because then we can fasten the stainless steel brackets or the mounts of the rudder. We can then also start bringing one of the anchors up and put it on its mount as well. We can start loosening a lot of this stainless steel, also put the stainless steel mounts of the shrouds on. So once this sanding is completely properly finished, we can apply the first base layer, then the second type of base layer, and then we can start applying the brackets.
Thank you so much, Wesley, for joining us on Patreon, and also Wiley, Jens, Duane, Herben, Joseph, Per, and John for leaving us a super thanks. We're super grateful to you guys. And we wish you all a happy Easter. See you next Sunday. Bye.